Hello everyone, I'm Tony from Arkitect Fitness, and in this video, we are going to be talking about the best way to cleanse and detox your body in 2020. Now, there are a ton of products out there, from supplements to herbal teas, fitness programs, lifestyle routines, and all different ways to cleanse and detox your body. And it seems like a really good idea, because why put all this effort and time and energy into going to the gym and changing your nutritional habits if your body's just blocked up by toxins and other things that are going to keep you from making progress? So how do we flush all that stuff out? Well, I've actually discovered one really easy trick to getting the most out of your cleansing and detoxing. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video with a very simple 2-step process. So let's not waste any time. Let's just jump right into it. The very first thing you need to do is you need to have a liver. If you have a liver, you're off to a really good start. Now, the second part of this 2-step process and this one really weird trick is to have kidneys. You can have just one, but 2 is preferable. Okay, so if you haven't figured it out, I'm trolling you guys. Cleanses and detoxes are mostly bullshit. The liver and the kidneys act as your body's natural filtration system, and they work to filter out anything that you don't need or you really shouldn't have in your body. This is how your body filters out the natural toxins, but also just buildup of things that aren't toxic, but we just don't need the large amounts of. And that's why we urinate and defecate, because we are expelling the waste from our bodies. That's literally what going to the bathroom is doing. And there really is no science to back up that there are these toxins in our body that need to be flushed out, or else we won't be able to lose weight or feel healthy or live a healthy lifestyle. All of this stuff exists basically just to make money. And it's really unfortunate, because a lot of times people will buy these juice cleanses or special dietary supplements in an attempt to cleanse or detox their body, and they really aren't going to do much other than potentially dehydrate you or really give you maybe diarrhea. And that's why you see a lot of weight loss, because you're dehydrated, or because you're just like flushing everything out of your body, even though it's not supposed to be happening like that. There really is nothing better than having a fully functional liver and healthy kidneys. And if you think about it, think about what we often associate with one of the dangers of too much alcohol consumption. It's cirrhosis of the liver or other liver-related problems. That's because alcohol is not an essential nutrient for our body. It is technically toxic to our body, and that's why it's very hard on our liver if we drink a lot of alcohol on a regular basis. That's why we can develop these liver-related problems. Also, think about the kidneys. If you have way too much calcium in your diet, or oxalate, which we won't get into, the deeper science of what that is, but these are things that if you eat too much of can build up in your kidneys, and you can get kidney stones. So just like the filter in your vacuum cleaner, or the air or oil filter in your car, these filters can get overrun. But unlike your car or your vacuum cleaner, where you can take those filters out and swap them out for a new one, we obviously can't do that with our liver or our kidneys. So the best thing to do is to not put anything into our body that we really shouldn't be doing in the first place. And you might think, well, isn't that kind of what a cleanse is? It's helping us eliminate those foods we shouldn't be eating. And no, the body and nutrition doesn't really work like that. The death or the danger is typically in the dose for the human body. The human body is extremely adaptable, but anything in too large of a quantity can be dangerous for us, even something like water. So if you look up water intoxication, that's essentially where you drink so much water, it disturbs the natural sodium levels in your brain, and you can actually die from drinking too much water. And water is obviously an extremely important essential nutrient to the human body, but too much of it is dangerous. And that goes for a wide variety of foods. Of course, there's a lot of really good reasons to eat whole foods and try to minimize your processed food intake. Some of those reasons are processed foods are very calorie dense but aren't very filling, so they're easy to overeat. And also whole foods usually have more vitamins and minerals in them. So while that might not help with something like body composition, it's definitely going to help with general health and just in feeling better overall. So if things like cleanses and detox teas don't work, why do people take them and why do people sell them? Well, I think like most products that aren't really that science-based in the fitness world, it's a combination of things. Number one, there are absolutely people out there that know it's BS and they just want to make a buck. This goes for a lot of social media influencers. If you go on Instagram and people are pushing coupon codes for specific products, some of those people genuinely use those products, but many people do not. If you're seeing something like Fit Tea or other types of products like that, a lot of times a company will just say, hey, this person has 250,000 Instagram followers. Let's hit them up and see if they can sell this product for us. And then when you use that coupon code, the person that's giving you the coupon code gets a portion of the money from the sale of that product with that code. The other part of the equation is there are people who are taking these products that aren't selling them and thinking that they work even though they don't. And this is what we call placebo. So you can do a little experiment on your own, and I'm actually going to put in some footage of this as well. Take a couple different diets. It doesn't matter if it's a cleanse or detox diet or just for health or weight loss, but any popular diet you can think of. Keto, vegan, paleo, Whole30, intermittent fasting, the carnivore diet. Take any of those, go onto YouTube and type in, I tried blank diet for 7 days or 1 month. And you will find dozens and dozens of videos of people sharing their experiences after they have done a week or maybe a month of this particular dietary change. And what I want you to do is do at least 2 of them, 2 different diets, and listen to what the people say when they are talking about their experience. And I'll drop in some footage. Let's watch that right now and kind of see if you can pick up any commonalities.
That morning felt great, didn't feel tired at all. I can't believe how good I feel. I actually feel really energized as I had so much energy on this diet. I never had a sugar crash. I never felt hangry. I felt like my mood was always balanced.
Much clarity, like I was just like a focus, but
will regulate your focus and overall productivity throughout the day. Instead of having, those crashes and those spikes of energy and then you'll feel sluggish after. This is going to regulate your focus throughout the day so you can go ahead and work, 14, 16, 18 hours long.
I feel like I did have a lot more energy, a lot more sustained energy throughout the day. And I do feel like there is a solid link between mental clarity and eating foods that are easier to digest.
And another thing that I have been experiencing is just this kind of level of clarity in my thoughts and processing my thoughts. So
I'll say this week overall, I had definitely more of a focused mindset, which it also has benefits for your mental health and stuff like that.
And the main mental change I experienced was having way more stable energy and focus throughout the day, like literally every day.
Okay, so what did you notice about what everyone said about all these different diets? I had better energy. I had better mental focus, better mental clarity. I don't want to discredit these people's experiences, but most of this is placebo. If you're not familiar with placebo, it's essentially when our mind tricks us into believing we're experiencing or feeling something. And this is why when drugs are being tested in controlled trials, there is a group that receives a benign pill. It doesn't actually have the drug in it, but the people taking the pill don't know that. Because if you think you're getting better, a lot of times with specific diseases, you will get better. So the studies aim to look at, okay, this group actually took the drug, this group thought they were taking the drug but didn't. Is there a measurable difference between the outcomes of those 2 groups? That's how powerful placebo is. And if you still don't believe me, If you've ever had a panic or anxiety attack, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, ask a friend or family member that might have had one, and they're probably going to tell you, I thought I was having a heart attack. And a lot of times people will go to the hospital for a panic attack. And of course, if the symptoms are chest pain, rapid heart rate, trouble breathing, the emergency room doctors are going to order the same tests every time. They're going to look at your blood pressure. They're going to look at an EKG. And a lot of times people come back with a clean bill of cardiac health. There's no signs or symptoms showing that you actually had a heart attack. So they say, okay, we think you had a panic attack or an anxiety attack. That doesn't mean that what those people were feeling wasn't real to them. They really experienced chest pain. They really experienced shortness of breath. They really experienced a rapid heart rate. But it just demonstrates how powerful the human mind can be. So if our brain can trick us into thinking that we're having a panic attack, it's not a far stretch to think that we could have convinced ourselves that the special diet or supplement helped us with mental focus or helped us with our energy levels. The difficult thing about some of these claims is they're hard to measure. Now, if I wanted to take two individuals who are about the same strength and fitness level, and I put them on two different strength training programs, we could easily measure before and after how strong they were. We could decide that we were going to test their max bench press or their max deadlift at the beginning and the end of these two different programs. And then we could see how the results varied from these two different programs. And of course, there's going to be some other variables to consider, but generally speaking, we're going to have a good idea of, okay, this person added 10 pounds to their bench press and this person didn't add any weight to their bench press. Those are measurable changes. How do you measure your mental focus? How do you measure your energy levels? How do you even measure your digestion? What does that even mean exactly? These are kind of these ambiguous statements that seem real, they seem good-natured, but there really is no measurable difference in these outcomes. And one thing I noticed while I was pulling some videos off the internet to put into this video is that a lot of people, when they start some of these more extreme diets like intermittent fasting or keto or the carnivore diet or vegan, is that they feel like crap initially. And then it's usually like 3 to 5 days in, they go, man, I feel amazing. I feel so much more energetic. I can focus all day long. It's funny to me that these periods of mental clarity that's better than ever come after a period where they felt not so great. And I think it just adds to the fact that it's kind of all relative, right? Like if you feel really sick, if you come down with the flu or a bad cold and you recover in the first week after you're not sick anymore, it's hard to say whether you feel better now than you did before you got the flu or that cold. Of course, you're going to feel better compared to how you felt while you were going through the flu or the cold, but do you really feel better overall compared to how you normally were? And it's interesting to me that these people go through this couple of days of their body getting used to whatever weird change they're making, and then they kind of rebound and then they feel great. So it's really hard to attribute that great feeling to this diet. Another reason why these diets that don't really work kind of stick around is because we value our peers' opinions very much. So there's lots of great science and data out there about training methods and nutritional methods. But what do you do when you're interested in a new gym or a new fitness program or a new diet? You don't go pull up the peer-reviewed research. That's just not what people do. They go and look at the Google reviews. They watch testimonial videos. That's why we make testimonial videos for the gym, because we know that the opinion of your peers has a huge impact on your perception of a product or a service. So I think when you see all these videos of people saying, oh my God, I felt so much better after I did this cleanse or this detox, that's really compelling evidence to us. Even though that person doesn't really have the self-awareness to really realize the changes that are actually happening in their body. Next, of course, this is going to bring us to what about the hard data? What about the weight loss? Well, it always comes back down to how do we get our body weight? Our body weight is comprised of the weight of our bones, organs, muscles, but also our body fat and our water, our hydration. You can lose tens, dozens of pounds in a very short period of time simply by flushing water out of your body. And this is how people get tricked into thinking that a diet like the ketogenic diet is superior for fat loss. Now, there's many reasons why someone might legitimately want to do the ketogenic diet, and it does have some benefits for certain groups of people. However, when compared to just regular calorie restriction in the long term, it has not been shown to produce more significant fat loss. So when you do a diet like keto, your body flushes out a lot of water. You see a significant amount of weight loss via water weight, and it's more confirmation evidence for you that, oh my gosh, this diet works really well. Interestingly, when I was pulling up videos to include in this video, I came across a gentleman who went through a 10-day fast. All he did for 10 days was drink water, and he actually did an excellent job because he measured not just his body weight prior to beginning the fast, but also his body fat. And what he found was he lost 8 kilos of weight in the 10 days, but his body fat percentage went up. Now you might be thinking, how can someone gain fat if they're not eating anything? Technically speaking, he did not actually gain any body fat. He did not create new fat. What happened was the weight that he lost came from muscle. That means when he had the new weight, more of a percentage of his weight was derived from fat. So he had roughly the same amount of fat, but he lost 8 kilos almost entirely from muscle. Obviously, this isn't what we want when we do a diet. So if you're doing a juice cleanse, a juice fast, or a detox, and you see this weight loss, it's highly unlikely that it's from fat. You're flushing out water. You're not taking in any solid food, which is going to, just by itself, make you weigh less. And you're not providing your muscle mass with the nutrients you need to sustain it, so your body's going to let that muscle go. And that's not what we want. And when I say muscle mass, I'm not talking about being like a bodybuilder. I'm talking about just a normal, healthy amount of muscle. But if you've been someone that's gone through a cleanse and you felt great and you want to tell all your friends about it, and someone shows up and says, hey, that's kind of baloney, that's not science-based, here's why, it feels very real to you, and it's going to be extremely offensive for somebody to say that at best, and at worst, it's going to be very depressing and kind of degrading. So I think that's why people struggle to kind of put how they feel aside and just look at the data. Okay, so we've put the idea to bed that detoxes and cleanses do something for you. Let's just get beyond that. I want this video to be helpful. So if our kidneys and our liver are our body's natural filters, how do we keep those in tip-top shape? Well, there are some supplements that have some science behind them to show that they promote liver and kidney health or kidney function, but again, it's a little bit weak, so I don't even want to get into that. There are some general things you can do to keep your kidneys and your liver healthy, and unfortunately, it's not really that exciting. It's not cutting edge. It's not that sexy, if you will, and it's really just all the things that you would do to have a normal, healthy lifestyle. Proper hydration, eating an adequate amount of calories, but not too much, having a well-balanced diet that includes a lot of whole foods, and exercising. Hydration is really important because that's what's going to help keep your kidneys running in tip-top shape and help keep from anything from building up like calcium or oxalate that's going to give you a kidney stone. A lot of that might be genetic though. The liver, on the other hand, is one that can really be harmed by being overweight. What happens is when your body is gaining body fat and you start to kind of run out of places to put that body fat, you will start accumulating fat in your liver, and this is known as fatty liver disease. Obviously, if your liver is developing fat deposits, it can't function properly. It's kind of being clogged up by fat. Obviously, this is not ideal, but the good news is it is a reversible condition, and the best way to reverse fatty liver disease is to lose weight. And the even better news is you don't have to be super thin or ripped to reverse fatty liver disease. Because it's one of the last places your body will store body fat, it is also one of the first places your body will burn your body fat from. So even a small or modest amount of weight loss can help reverse fatty liver disease. All right, so that's it for today's video. I know it might not have been super exciting or the answer some people were looking for, but we really just want you to save your time and hard-earned money and keep you from wasting it on things that just aren't going to work for you in the long term. While some of the more extreme cleanses and detoxes might actually be dangerous, most of them are really just a waste of time and money. And time is one of the toughest resources for people to allocate to their health and fitness. So any time you can save is definitely worth it. And you want to find a strategy that's going to help educate you on proper nutrition and training, because that's what's going to empower you for long-term results. I'm Tony from Arkitect Fitness, and we'll see everyone next time.